if you give up before your sales and marketing become fruitful, you're done.
You are playing a role of a strategic partner and not just, the people who show up and fix broken computers.
How do I provide for the family and still have time for my family?
What were the first things that you remember doing to get more of that lead flow going?
Speak in plain English, don't use jargon, don't use abbreviations.
They can take everything away from you except your knowledge.
Okay, we're here today with Huey and Tito Huynh, President and Vice President of Business Data Services, a fantastic MSP based in Overland Park, Kansas. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having us, Rob.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's go back to the business. I guess this is going to be, the beginning, Huey. Like, what motivated you to start this MSP IT services business? Or what were those initial goals or motivations?
Yeah, let's take way back 20 years ago. That's way too long for me to remember a lot of stuff. But the thing that motivating me always have been the innovation. How do I get out and help others to achieve? So in the beginning of time, when I first worked for a CPA firm in Kansas City, I will hire on, and there's a lot of innovation. You create things that can make money and can help others. And that was exciting. I was so excited about that. And then later on, we merged with a larger company and all those go away. And so I decided for myself that, well, I need to create something, a company that can handle, that can foster innovation, can go out and help others, and at the same time, of course, making money. That's important too.
A little detail.
Yeah. So that's how it started, and so that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, so you didn't want to kind of be just the kind of the part of the machinery. You wanted to actually,
right. Not just a number. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But what were some of the biggest obstacles you had, or anything you think of in that early part when you're kind of on your way to your first million? Any significant challenges or obstacles you had to overcome?
Well, as a startup, everything is a challenge, right? So the one biggest thing that any startup downplay is how much time it takes on the sales and marketing side versus the technical. So you were hoping that you can do all technical and don't have to do any sales and marketing. But I found out real quick that any hour that I can earn, I have to spend at least 1 hour, if not 2. So at least 50% of my time is outside of the technical world. And I was never a talkative person.
Yeah.
So I'm more an introvert instead of extrovert. I'm not like Tito. So that was the biggest challenge I have to overcome, is come out, meet others, getting my name out there, the company out there, and let people know what I can help them with. And that was the biggest challenge for me at the time.
Tito, where's your entry into this story, this 20-year picture?
Yeah, so I came in around was it 2016?
2016,
so eight years ago now, and I came in at first as my role was marketing specialist back then. So I came in to try to help offload the marketing then, and really came in looking at what are we doing now, what's working, what's not working, And I quickly found out that what was working was word of mouth. Our clients loved us and always saying praises for us and send us referrals. What was not working was consistent lead flow. Referrals is good, but we couldn't get leads or new logos consistently because that was all there was referrals. So kind of like a lot of the starting point of the technology marketing toolkits clients is, hey, we want to get marketing going, but all we have is referrals right now.
Yeah.
So that's a common theme when I hear presentations from better your best contestants or people in the technology marketing toolkits journey is, that's that the referrals is where it started, and that the same thing with us. That's what was where we started as well, and I kind of had to learn and dissect things from there. So that's where I came in.
I get the point of the transition between tech and sales. That's a struggle, but to really come in with sort of those sort of fresh eyes and say, okay, I don't come from a technical background. This is like I have to understand this, and then I would think that in some ways it could make it a little easier on one end because you don't have that technical bias in a way. Did you find that as you'd sit through those meetings, you were finding ways to kind of communicate this in business speak or non-tech speak? With do you take the role of a translator a little bit in there?
Definitely. Yeah. And I often still do. Like today I'm account manager and salesperson. But oftentimes, we always tell our guys, hey, speak in plain English, don't use jargon, don't use abbreviations. But oftentimes I'll have to come in even in an account management setting and say, the spam filter is a common one, right? So like the guys will say, hey, get a spam filter. And then the business owner, the client, they'll understand. They're like, oh, they're just trying to sell me something. It's like, well, no, Mr. Client, what this is really doing is it's your first layer of protection for your emails. This is going to block those spams and block those phishing attempts to you in the first place, which means your team won't have to be on edge as much as they are right now. It's good for them to still receive security training, but they won't have to be as on edge as they are right now. So it is really that first layer of protection, leveraging technology to help protect you, really. So I often do that still. But yes, going back to your original question, when I first got started, yes, it did help me understand because I had to translate it in my head first and then get it to a point where the clients can understand.
So that makes perfect sense. So as you guys kind of had grown and hired, we touched on hiring for a second. I mean, I know Huey, like it's maybe hard to find good talent, but you definitely can't just keep producing them. I mean, that's the way you got to Tito. That's not, that's a tough road. So what, I mean, as you're working together, building the company, you have any tips on how you would approach scaling your team, things you look for, company culture? What would you give for advice there?
Yeah, we basically, so since Tito come on and then we start brainstorming, and Tito brought in a lot of good ideas. And so first thing we did was creating the core value, right? So we hire based on that core value.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good they are at technical side, but if they don't fit that core value, the things that important to us as a company, so if they don't fit that mold, then we're not gonna hire them. And we also fire people based on the core value. So once they onboard and they don't fit the core value or they grew apart from the core value, then we could fire people based on that as well. So our core value is important to us. So one of those are service customer above all else. So that's one of the aspects. So if you can't service your customer, then somebody will. That's the way it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And of course, integrity is very high up there. So everyone have to come in with good integrity, and that's how we sell. That's how we service our client. And if you don't pass that test, then you're not going to stay.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in this too. At the MSP I worked at prior, similar story of hiring, firing by core values. We found that the people who made it through, those tests, we ended up helped us build a good culture. Do you feel that works that way for you as well, and building the company culture?
Definitely is. And if everybody believes in the same thing and striving for the same goal, so that if they all have that same integrity, same service customer above all else, get better every day, all of those, if they all believe in the same thing, working on the same mindset, then the boat going in the same direction.
Is there anything in particular, looking back, you'd tell your younger self when you start in this business from what you know now that you would do differently?
Yeah, there's things that you can do differently. Learn as much about accounting and about business as much as possible. That's my biggest issue is on the business side. I know everything. Well, I wouldn't say everything, but I know enough about technology and technical. That on the sales and marketing, on the business side, I was so lacking. So if I know a lot more about that when I started the company, I would have been so much better. And of course, capital always good. If you have enough money for sales and marketing,
stay on that plus
always
side.
help.
That's fair. I mean, it's hard to be the wizard at everything. I mean,
Oh, I try to be, but people keep on telling me no. No, you can't be good at everything. So.
I really appreciate you guys taking the time coming on here. I think it was really nice to get to know you better too. I think the community will find this really valuable. Just thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Rob, for having us on and share our pitfall and hopefully that help the next guy out a little bit.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Tito.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks for inviting us.